Hello, secondary one. This is Mr. Ahmed Faidi من Farouk Language School, and today, inshallah, we'll start a new video in geometry. And now we'll talk about equation of straight line, and we will start with revision about what we studied before. You have studied before the general equation of the straight line, which is ax plus by plus c equals 0, where a and b not equal 0 represented it graphically by straight line. So if we have relation between x and y from first degree in the form ax plus by plus c equals 0, this is called general form of the straight line or the equation of the straight line. A and b not equal 0 represented graphically by straight line. Which of the following relations represents a straight line? 3x minus 2y equal 5. So x first degree and y first degree. So 3x minus 2y equal 5 represented by straight line. Y equal root x plus 1. We have x under square root, so not represented by a straight line. Y equals 3 is a special case of the general formula represented by straight line parallel to x-axis, where y equals 3 represented by straight line but parallel to y-axis and called constant. X minus root 2 equals 0. We have x minus root 2 equals 0. We can write it x equal root 2 and also represented by a straight line parallel to y-axis. Y plus 1 over x equal 2, not represented by a straight line because we have 1 over x, not x. So x here power negative 1, so not represented by a straight line. X over 3 minus y over 2 equal 1. We can write the coefficients of x and y as 1 over 3x minus 1 over 2y equals 1. So x and y from first degree, so we can represent it by a straight line. We can use GeoGebra to draw all these graphs. Okay, note that the equation ax plus by plus c equals 0, where a and b are not equal to 0 together, is called general form of the equation of the straight line, as we said. The equation ax plus by plus c equals 0, if b equals 0 and a not equal 0. So we have the general equation becomes ax plus c equals 0 and x equal negative c over a. And this is represented by a straight line parallel to y-axis. If we have x equal any number which is negative c over a, so this is straight line parallel to y-axis, and which is an equation of a straight line parallel to y-axis passes through the point negative c over a and 0. If a equals 0 and b not equal 0, so the general equations becomes by plus c equals 0, y equal negative c over b, and this is represented by straight line parallel to x-axis and intersect y-axis as negative c over b and 0. So parallel to x-axis and passes through the point negative c over b and 0. If c equals 0, the general equation becomes ax plus by equals 0. So which is an equation of straight line passes through the origin point. So which is an equation of straight line passes through the origin point. If we have c equals 0, then this equation represented by straight line passes through the origin point. And we have definition of slope of straight line. And in first one, which is the blue one, the straight line is make an acute angle with the positive direction of x-axis. So we can say the slope here is positive or more than 0. And second one, which is the green one, the straight line is make an obtuse angle with the positive direction of x-axis, so the slope here is negative, so m less than 0, and m represented the slope of the straight line. So which of the following straight lines is parallel to y-axis, which of them is parallel to x-axis, and which of them passes through the origin point? Then find the coordinate of the points of the intersection with the two axes if found. So the first one, 2x plus 3 equals 0. We can write it as letter A, 2x equal or x equal negative 3 over 2. So this straight line is parallel to y-axis and intersects x-axis at negative 3 over 2 and 0. And letter B, we have x plus 3y equals 0, passes through the origin point. Passes because c equals 0. Passes through the origin point. And letter C, 2x plus 3y equals 12. So we can find the intersection with x-axis, put y equals 0. So 2x equals 12. So x equals 12 divided by 2 will be 6. So the intersection is 6 and 0. And if you want to find the intersection with x-axis, with the y-axis, sorry, so put x equals 0. So 3y equal 12. So y equal 12 divided by 3 will be 4. So the intersection with y-axis 0 and 0 and 4. Intersection with x-axis and intersection with y-axis. Or we can use the rules to find the intersection of x-axis and y-axis. And the letter D, y minus 5 equals 0, y equal 5. So y equal 5 parallel to x-axis and intersect y-axis at 0 and 5. Intersect y-axis at 0 and 5. The point of intersection 0 and 5. Okay. We have straight line f. Straight line, if L is a straight line, F is a point in the plane, F not belong to L. How many straight lines pass through the point F parallel to the straight line L? There is a unique straight line parallel to the straight line L and passes through the point F. Slope straight line. You have known before that we determine a straight line completely. There are two conditions such as a given point and slope of a line. To determine the straight line completely, we know we need a given point and a slope of a line. So slope straight line represented by m, and we say before the slope straight line equals rise over run. Rise represented by the vertical change, which is y2 minus y1. If we take 2 points on the straight line, x1 y1 and x2 y2, so the vertical change y2 minus y1 and the horizontal change x2 minus x1. So the slope straight line equals the vertical change over the horizontal change, which means y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So if we need to find the slope straight line and we have the equation ax plus by plus c equals 0, so slope equals negative coefficient of x over the coefficient of y, so it's mean negative a over b. And we can find the slope straight line by using tan the positive and the angle which you make with the positive direction of x-axis, which is theta. So m equal tan theta, where theta is the angle which the straight line make with the positive direction of x-axis. So as we said before, m greater than 0 if the theta is an acute angle, and m less than 0 or m is negative if theta is an obtuse angle. and we have relations between the slopes of two straight lines. L1 and L2 are parallel, then M1 equal M2, or we can say M1 minus M2 equals 0, or M1 minus M2 equals to 0. If two straight lines are parallel, then they have same slope and vice versa. If M1 equal M2, then the two straight lines are parallel. And we have another relation. If the two straight lines are perpendicular, then M1 multiplied by M2 equals -1. The product of two slopes of perpendicular straight lines equals -1, and vice versa. If we have the two slopes multiplied by two slopes equals -1, then the two straight lines are perpendicular. If you want to find M2 and we have M1, then we make -1 divided by M1. If we want to find M2, so -1 divided M1. Okay, try to solve. Find the slope of the straight line passing through each pair of the following points and show which of these lines are parallel and which are perpendicular. So in letter A, let the straight line is L1. So M1, the vertical change 5 minus 1, y2 minus y1, over x2 minus x1, -2 minus 3. So 5 minus 1 would be 4 over -5. So letter B, M2 equal -1 minus 0 over 2 minus 4. So it will be -1 over -2, which represent 1 over 2, which is equal to 1 over 2. And letter C, we have L3. So M3 will be -3 minus -1 over 3 minus 7. So it will be -3 plus 1 will be -2, and this 3 minus 7 will be -4, so it will be 1 over 2. And letter D is the last one, L4. The slope M4 equals 3 minus -2 over -1 minus -5. So 3 plus 2 will be 5 over -1 plus 5 will be 4. So it will be 5 over 4. So we notice that L2 and L3 have same slope. So M2 equal M3. So L2 is parallel to L3. And we notice that M1 multiply M4, 4 over -5, multiplied by 5 over 4 equals -1. Then L1 is perpendicular to L4. Thank you for your listening and see you in the next video, inshallah.